next thing we're going to discuss, just in a brief overview, is certain safety steps you can take to ensure that you're not going to get bit by your reptile, especially your snake. Now, my rule is if you get bit by a snake, it's your fault. You did something wrong, you deserve it. They don't want to bite you. It's not in their nature. They rather run from you than bite you, unless we're talking about a venomous animal, which brings up a whole different, line of information. So, let's say, for instance, we're going to feed a corn snake today, a little baby corn snake. Now, preferably, and this is when most bites are going to occur, is when you're trying to feed your animal. Preferably, you don't want to handle your snake at all the day you're going to feed him, or after feeding him. You always want to make sure you wash your hands before you go in to feed, and you want to make sure you wash your hands after you feed the reptile. Snakes are scent and heat-oriented animals. That's how they judge things. And if you smell like food, move like food, or are hot like food, there's a chance you could get bit. So, with that knowledge, you're going to get the snake out of his enclosure. Okay? What we're going to do is we're going to disassociate him from you in feeding as much as possible. So you take that snake, you're going to put him in a separate feeding enclosure. Okay? Make sure it's properly ventilated. You don't want your snake suffocating on you while he's supposed to be eating. But a small deli cup for babies or a piece of Tupperware, whatever you feel is necessary to keep him and his food together. Always feed with feeding tongs. Feeding tongs are very important. You don't ever want to use your fingers to feed a snake. All that's going to do is put you in association with the food, thereby increasing your chances of being bit. So again, you're going to use your feeding tongs to pick up your prey item, and you're going to use those tongs to introduce your prey item into the feeding enclosure. You're then going to close them off, and you're going to leave them alone. Most corn snakes will feed pretty readily, and you shouldn't have to worry about it, though. As babies, you may want to give them a small, dark area to be where he can be undisturbed.